Hello, Patterns of Evidence family. We're so excited about the new release of our film, Journey to Mount Sinai, Part 2. Going to be in theaters May 15th and 17th. But before we do that, we're going to prep it by showing you some very, very interesting and compelling videos from some of the people who are in the film. Many of you might know Jim and Penny Caldwell, who lived in Saudi Arabia, and their adventures searching for Mount Sinai at a mountain called Jebel Alaz. Jim worked for Aramco in Saudi Arabia as an oil field engineer, which is what allowed the Caldwells to access the sites around Jebel Alaz during a time when it was still difficult and even dangerous to go there. For a long time, the Caldwells were some of the only people with footage of these locations, as they embarked on a total of 15 trips documenting what appeared to be a pattern of evidence matching the Bible around the mountain. In 2003, I went with the Caldwells, Dr. Leonard Moeller, and Dr. Glenn Fritz to Saudi Arabia. And although we had permission to be there from the Saudi government, we were not welcome at Jebel Alaz. All my footage from the trip was confiscated and never returned. I was only able to keep the photos that I had taken. I filmed several interviews with Jim and Penny at their home in Mississippi and later at my office, where we transferred over 25 hours of footage. During this process, we recorded an audio track of the Caldwells giving a commentary over their videos. And as we watched this footage transfer, it was a very unique look at what was happening to them as they ventured into this very interesting location.
Big marker right here.
And you get a sense of being there with them for the very first time, as they raise ideas and think through the possibilities of the attributes of the area and the artifacts that might be connected to the Bible. I know you're really going to enjoy this, so hang on. Let's go with the Caldwells to Saudi Arabia.
Another book that we found in the bookstore was this book called The Mountain of God by Emanuel Anati. Emanuel Anati had a theory that Har Karkum in the southern Negev of Israel may be the actual location of Mount Sinai. However, he also had listed inside the book the other locations that were potential candidates for Sinai. He lists the traditional site of St. Catherine's, Sin Bashar, Petra, but over here you'll see that he lists Jebel Alaz as well. And so this is what set us. We were here at Sharm el-Sheikh in the southern point of the Sinai Peninsula, and then we made the journey back into Jordan and then down into this region to start looking for the real Mount Sinai.
We are in Arabia. Yep. And Jim had plotted his course into the Jebel Alaz region by virtue of the maps that we had with us, and coming in from the south. We did not come in from the area that this map had sort of indicated that we should. We came in from the south.
And the map wasn't very clear. It didn't give me a good indication. I knew I wanted to get to Jebel Alaz. So what we did is I took my, a topographical map, and I looked at it and I said, well, there's major wadis, which is when we travel in Arabia, the only way into these passes was through the ancient wadis, ancient riverbeds, dry riverbeds.
Pretty tremendous area that we're looking at. We cover quite a bit of terrain. We've just come across that area there. There's a giant wadi. Circling back around, you can see all the mountains in the background.
We would come in leaving Tabuk down the Duba Highway from the south through Wadi Rate, R-A-Y-T, and then on into the Laz Range. And so we would be coming up from the south, and then once you get into the front of Laz and Makla, then it becomes the Wadi Abiyad, and you head back down 44 kilometers back down to the highway on the other side.
And there we are.
We found an archaeological site.
We are at the Golden Calf altar right here.
We actually
didn't really know it.
No, we didn't know it, but we actually had an encounter with a Bedouin that allowed us, after conversation, gave us the right directions to find our way to this location.
Actually peer right through the fence at these things.
So we're looking
Egyptian-style carvings.
And this
across the valley from a potential candidate for Mount Sinai. all over a large series of rocks. Now, at the time that we're standing here, we're not sure we're even at Jebel Laws. We're still looking at this point.
We can't get into the area, but we can see what we need to see through the fence.
We don't have a clue that there are Bedouin all over this valley. We don't have a clue that they could come upon us any minute and force us out of there, as we found out later in this day.
Didn't even know that there might be an issue with us being in this site.
problem.
I'm standing there wide open, just
Hanging
with a
out
video
there.
camera in my hand, shooting through
Yep.
the fence. You're seeing this material just as I saw it for the very first time.
Okay, and then the last bit that I see is right in this area.
We were getting glimpses of these.
These are the ones that are exactly like the one in
Yeah.
the center there
One in the center with the
is
high-
exactly like the ones we just saw in Egypt
Right.
at Karnak.
So we didn't have a problem recognizing these particular petroglyphs as being Egyptian style.
Part of what we were very keen to do was to try and document this on film, which was very difficult, I might add. You know, we didn't have an easy go of it. I don't want it to sound like we were just able to breeze in and out of these areas with great ease and ability, because we were hunted down and chased off so many times. We were arrested numerous times. The frontier forces of the area were not happy at all for Western faces to be around these areas, were they?
We had a number of encounters with the frontier forces. We were hauled off to outback jails. We were taken in front of the emir of Al-Bad. There's a number of close calls that we had with frontier forces, Bedouin, civilian police. It didn't hinder us or stop us from returning back to the mountain to continue documentation. The drive was that strong.